Hi, boys and girls. JJ got a fever, so I can't be there today. Instead of reviewing with you in class, I picked some problems from the review to go over with you through this video. When you're done, you can ask the substitute questions about these problems or others on the sheet, and then you'll take the math test. The first problem I picked was number 2. When I was walking around during the review and working with students yesterday, I saw people quickly solved 100 divided by 4 and marked their answer. When students found 100 divided by 4 was 25, they marked the choice and moved on. But remember, the key here is select all the expressions that apply, meaning there could be more than one correct answer, and you need to check all the possible problems. As you look at the work that I've produced on this page, 250 divided by 5 was 50, but 200 divided by 8 is 25, making it a correct answer. 150 divided by 5 was 30, and 300 divided by 6 is 50. So if you only mark that first answer choice, you won't get full credit because you've missed a response. Now let's look at number 3. Domino's is donating pizzas to 6 classes with the highest AR points. They are donating 37 pizzas. If they are only giving out whole pizzas, how many whole pies will each class receive? Again, yesterday I saw people very easily said 37 divided by 6. And easily again, because of the basic fact, found the answer of 6 remainder 1. For this problem, it's important to make sure you answer the question, however. If they are only giving out whole pizzas, how many whole pies will each class receive? The answer is 6 pizzas or 6 whole pies. You'll find that most of the word problems are worded in this fashion and need you to pay close attention to the question. Look at review problem 6. Mrs. Reddy has 70 pictures. She puts 8 pictures on each page in her photo album. She makes as many pages as possible. How many pictures will she have left over? 70 pictures total with 8 on each page. I know that 8 times 9 is 72, but that would be too high. So 8 times 8 is 64. 70 minus 64 gives me 6, so the answer to the division is 8 remainder 6. But again, make sure to answer the question. How many pictures will she have left over? This is a remainder only question, and the answer is 6 pictures left over. Review problem 7 was worded a little differently as well. Joseph has $95. He's buying baseball cards, and each card costs $3. He wants to figure out how many cards he can buy. He writes the equation, 95 divided by 3 equals 31 remainder 2. In the context of the problem, what does the number 2 represent? In this case, he divided the amount of money he had by the cost of each baseball card. He can buy 31 cards, and the remainder 2 is the $2 that he has left over. The 95 represents the total money that he has to start with. Now on to review problem 8. Many of you were stuck on this yesterday in class. It says, write a division problem using a 4-digit dividend and a 1-digit divisor that results in an odd quotient between 200 and 400. So, off the bat, I know my answer has to be an odd number between 200 and 400. I'm going to go with a 1-digit divisor of 3. Why 3? Because I know if I count by 3s, I say 3, 6, 9. 9's an odd number. 3's an odd number. It might be easy to get an odd quotient. I want my answer to be between 200 and 400. So I'm going to think 3 goes into 2. It would have to be 6 or less. So let's see. if I did 1,100, and then I need two more numbers, 3 would go into 11 3 times. 3 times 3, that would be 9. I'd bring down the 2. So far I'm doing good. I want my answer to be odd though. So I'd like my leftover amount after my next answer to be 3. Oh, I think I'll put a 3 here and make this number an even one. Put another 1. If I bring down the 1, 3 goes into 21 7 times, because 7 times 3 is 21, with none left over. When I bring down my 3, 3 goes into 3 1 times, and 1 times 3 is 3, giving me the quotient of 371, which is between 200 and 400. So my problem is 1,113 divided by 3. Notice how I used my division knowledge to work backwards to find that quotient? Guess and check is also a strategy that could work for this problem. Let's look at number 10. Noah sliced up some apples into 20 equal pieces to share with 4 of his friends. How many slices will they each receive? In this problem, I have 20 equal pieces of apple, and Noah is going to share it with 4 of his friends. But if he's going to share with 4 of his friends, Noah's going to have some apple too. So I'm going to do 5 divided by 20. Noah's not making the apple for his friends, he's sharing it. Make sure to pay attention for that when you take the test today. Is the person being included, or are they just doing it out of the kindness of the heart? Sometimes the problems can go either way. 5 can go into 20 4 times, because 4 times 5 is 20, leaving no leftovers, and each friend is going to receive 4 slices of apple. There's no trick in interpreting the remainder on this problem. It was just in seeing that Noah would be included, or maybe, depending on the test, whether that person would or would not be included. Now let's look at number 7. Mrs. Sheridan drove 324 miles in 6 hours to get to her camping trip. If she drove the same number of miles each hour, how many miles did she drive in 1 hour? If I went 324 miles in 6 hours, I'm going to do 324 miles divided by 6, because I'm going to share that amount so that I went the same number of miles in each hour. That's what makes it a division problem. And this is the answer. 324 divided by 6 equals n. It doesn't matter what n is. N is just a variable that stands for the answer. You just had to pick the correct choice. Finally, let's jump up to problem 1 and 5. I'm going to go ahead and solve these problems using both the algorithm and partial products. Let's go ahead and first list the multiples of 3 and 7 for those that need it to solve the problem. Now that that's done, let's solve 489 divided by 3 using partial products. I look at my chart for a number that I can subtract. I'm going to use 300. 300 represents 3 times 100, because I go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, leaving me with 189. I look at my multiple chart again, and I see I can subtract 180. 180 represents 3 times 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Leaving me with 9. I see 9 is a multiple right there, so I can subtract 9. That represents 3 times 3. Leaving me with nothing left over. Nothing is less than 3. I know I'm done. 163 gives me the answer 163. Now, to solve this problem using the regular algorithm, I'm going to need to erase some of this work. This time let's solve 489 divided by 3 using the regular algorithm. 3 goes into 4 one time because 1 times 3 is 3, and I bring down the 1, bring down the 8. 3 goes into 18 6 times because 6 times 3 is 18, with none left over, so I bring down the 9. And 3 goes into 9 3 times, which is 9, leaving me none left over. Now let's try 4,325 divided by 7 using the regular algorithm. I see on my chart that 7 times 6 is 42. So 7 goes into 43 6 times because 7 times 6 is 42. Then I bring down the 2, leaving me with 12. Well, 7 times 1 is 7 and 7 times 2 is 14. So 7 can only go into 12 one time. 1 times 7 is 7. 12 minus 7 leaves me 5. And I bring down my 5. Looking at my chart again, I see 7 times 7 is 49. So 7 goes into 55 7 times because that's 49. And when I subtract, I see that there's a remainder of 6, giving me the answer of 617, remainder 6. Now let's solve that problem using partial products. I'm going to solve 4,325 divided by 7. I look at my chart, my highest number is 700. Since I have a thousands number, if I did 7 times 1,000, that would be 7,000. That's too high. But as I found in group yesterday, if I just subtract 100, I have to do that a lot. 700 comes out of 4,300 a lot of times. So if I take my chart a step further here, if I use that knowledge of hundreds and add to my chart, I can say this is 700. This would be 1,400. Then my inserted space, I would have 2,100, 2,800, 3,500, 4,200. 4,200 looks like a good number to subtract. 42 is 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 420 is 7 times 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, making 4,200, 7 times 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Let's subtract 4,200 as 7 times 600. Now I'm left with 125. From 125, I can't even use 140. I'm just going to subtract 70, which represents 7 times 10, leaving me 55, which brings me back to 7 times 7, which is 49, which is where I get my remainder of 6. I get 617, remainder 6. Now, it's time to take your math test. Make sure to show your work on your paper and staple that paper to your test when you turn it in. If you don't have work, I will not grade your test. When you're done with your math test and it's turned in, you're going to use your device or a computer and go to Canvas. You need to complete the science assignments, the paragraph on Canvas, and the textbook pages. Finally, complete the social studies assignment. You'll get this from the substitute. You'll be reading about the Castillo. Remember to be good. You wouldn't want Olaf to lose his head, or any other body parts, would you? I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a good day.